You've been silent for too long. You've given, you've tolerated, you've forgiven, and one day, you just walk away, and suddenly, the world flips. The person who ignored you. Now they're texting every hour. The friend who never showed up suddenly wants to talk. The lover who took you for granted. Now they're begging for another chance. But what's really happening behind their eyes? What emotions explode the moment you stop being available? And why does walking away give you more power than anything else you could have done? Today, we're not talking about revenge. We're not talking about ego. We're diving into the shadow, the hidden, unconscious forces that control human behavior, using the revolutionary insights of Carl Jung. Because when you walk away, you don't just change your life, you trigger something primal in theirs. Let me ask you something real. Have you ever walked away from someone who used you? Someone who drained your energy, manipulated your kindness, or treated you like an option, and the moment you stopped answering, stopped chasing, stopped begging for attention, suddenly, they started chasing you. That's not coincidence. That's psychology. That's power. And that's the shadow rising. Carl Jung, the legendary Swiss psychiatrist, said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." When you walk away, you don't just leave a person. You shatter their unconscious script. You disrupt their shadow narrative. And that triggers a psychological earthquake. Jung believed every person has a shadow self, the part of us we deny, repress, or refuse to acknowledge. It's where our fears, insecurities, selfish desires, and toxic patterns live. And here's the key: most people project their shadow onto others. They don't see their own manipulation. They accuse you of being controlling. They don't see their own abandonment issues. They say you're the one who left. They don't see their own neediness. They call you cold or heartless when you set boundaries. So when you walk away, you're not just leaving, you're withdrawing the screen they've been projecting their shadow onto. And that's terrifying for them, because now they have to face what they've buried. Now let's get raw. Let's name the real emotions that explode the second you walk away. First, narcissistic injury. The ego collapse. When someone relies on you for validation, whether it's a toxic partner, a manipulative friend, or a controlling family member, your presence feeds their ego. You're their mirror, your attention, their oxygen. And when you walk away, their ego shatters. They don't just feel sad, they feel erased, they feel invisible. And that triggers something called narcissistic injury, a deep psychological wound that makes them desperate to regain control. That's why they come back. Not because they love you, not because they've changed, but because their ego is starving. And in that moment, they'll do anything to make you look at them again. Second, fear of abandonment. The shadow screams. Even the most strong people have a primal fear: being left, being forgotten, being irrelevant. And when you walk away, you trigger their deepest childhood wound, the fear of abandonment. They may not even realize it, but their shadow does, and it panics. That's why they suddenly realize how much they love you. That's why they flood you with messages, gifts, promises. It's not love, it's trauma. It's the shadow screaming, "Don't let me be alone! Don't make me face myself!" And you're the last escape route. Third, loss of control. The puppet master loses the strings. Toxic people don't want love, they want control. They want predictability. They want you to react, to get angry, to cry, to beg, to stay. Because as long as you react, they're in power. But when you walk away in silence, when you don't fight, don't explain, don't justify, you break the spell. You become unpredictable. You become free. And that terrifies them. Because now they can't manipulate you. They can't guilt trip you. They can't use your emotions against you. You've stepped out of the game, and the game collapses. Fourth, projection collapse. The mirror breaks. Remember, people project their shadow onto you. They say you're the selfish one. You're the one who doesn't care. You're the one who's too emotional. But when you walk away calmly, quietly, without drama, you expose their lie. Because now they're the one panicking. They're the one begging. They're the one losing control. And in that moment, the projection collapses. They see their own reflection, and they hate what they see. So what do? They attack you harder. They call you cruel, heartless, selfish, because it's easier to blame you than to face their own darkness. Fifth existential wake-up call. The shadow awakens. And here's the deepest level. Your walk-away isn't just about them. It's a spiritual event. Carl Jung said, "The meeting with yourself is the meeting with the other." When you walk away, you force them to meet themselves. For the first time in years, they're alone with their thoughts. No distractions, no games, no mask. And in that silence, the shadow rises. They start asking, why did they leave? Was it really all my fault? Am I unlovable? That's not guilt. That's awakening. That's the beginning of transformation, if they choose to face it. But most don't. Most run back to the next person they can control. Because facing the shadow, that's the hardest thing a human can do. Now, let's talk about you. Because this isn't just about what they feel. It's about what you gain. When you walk away, you're not running. You're rising. You're saying, I will no longer be a mirror for your shadow. I will no longer feed your ego. I will no longer participate in your denial. And in that silence, you reclaim your power. Because power isn't in yelling. Power isn't in fighting. Power is in presence. Power is in peace. Power is in walking away and not looking back. And here's the secret: the more silent you are, the louder your absence becomes. Your silence echoes. Your peace terrifies them because it proves you don't need them. And that's the ultimate revenge. So you've walked away. Now what? Don't fall for the comeback. Don't fall for the tears. Don't fall for the "I've changed" speech. Because 9 times out of 10, they haven't changed. They've just run out of options. So what do? First, honor your decision. You didn't walk away because you're heartless. You walked away because you're healing. You walked away because you chose yourself. That's not cruel. That's courageous. Second, don't explain. The moment you explain, you give them power. You open the door to debate, to guilt, to manipulation. Your walkaway doesn't need permission. It doesn't need justification. It just is. Third, do shadow work on yourself. Yes, even you have a shadow. Maybe you tolerated too much. Maybe you needed to be needed. Maybe you confused pain with love. Now is the time to face it. Ask, why did I stay so long? What part of me enjoyed being the victim? What am I avoiding by staying in this pattern? Because true freedom isn't just leaving others. It's knowing yourself. Fourth, build a life they can't interrupt. Don't just walk away. Walk into something, a new purpose, a new passion, a new version of you. Because the best revenge is a life so full, so radiant, so unreachable, that they can't even pretend they were ever a part of it. Let me leave you with this. Walking away isn't failure. It's the highest form of self-respect. It's not running from pain. It's running toward peace. And when you do it, when you finally say no more, you don't just change your life, you change theirs. You force them to feel what they've buried. You make them face what they've denied, and whether they heal or repeat, that's on them. But you've already won, because you chose yourself. And in a world that tells you to shrink, to please, to tolerate, choosing yourself is the most revolutionary act of all. So walk away, walk in silence, walk with power, and let the shadow do its work. Because sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop letting someone use your love. If this hit deep, I want you to do one thing. Don't comment, don't share, don't even like this video. Just pause, breathe, and ask yourself, who am I still holding on to that I need to walk away from? And when you find the answer, don't negotiate, don't explain, don't look back. Just walk, quietly, powerfully, and never forget your silence speaks louder than their noise ever could.